How you guys doing? Josh here with Ohio Fish Rescue. Now you guys just seen all the commotion of getting these Bellagio tanks set up in this room, but we've got a little something else for you guys today. So as we're still cleaning up this hellacious mess, we've got the side of the house pretty much done, so the neighbors shouldn't be mad. We're still working on cleaning a bunch of this stuff up. We've got our 6 table sump here. This will be going in the room to be being set up. But let's take a walk inside and show you guys these Bellagio tanks once again. We started to decide what we're going to do with them. Well, you guys have been very active on the comment section of this last video, and it's kind of baffling to me that some of you guys, well, there are some new subs, so I can't really say that, but we do have a plan for these tanks. There will be no monsters in these tanks whatsoever. These coral inserts are so big, and they were put in before this top was put on. There is no way this piece of coral is coming out that hole. Same thing with this big coral coming out of that hole. They are too big, too pretty to just bust up and destroy. So they're going to be staying in this tank, but they are also epoxied to the bottom of the tank. So I'm not going to destroy my tank and the corals to be able to take these out. So we are working with the scapes of these coral inserts in these tanks. So we have one tank is going to be nothing but African cichlids, and it's going to be a coral themed tank. Most of you guys know this because we've released it in previous videos, but I think it is going to look pretty nice. There are a few of these coral pieces that have busted loose with their epoxy, but the end ones have not and the center ones have not. These two small ones, either they weren't epoxy down or they broke free, but these ones are movable. So we will position those to make the most room and the most hides, add some plants in here, of course, and you're going to have a bunch of tiny fish with a lot of room. So have a little bit of faith with us, guys, or faith in us, and we always do what's right and what's best for our fish. There is a bunch of cleanup to do inside these tanks, so you can see bulkheads have popped through. We've got heaters still in them, bulkheads there. There's old styrofoam seahorses and stuff. But on the bottom of these tanks, I'm waiting on new bulkheads now. All this sand is going to basically be sucked out and thrown away. There's not enough in it for me to go ahead to want to save this. Yes, I know it's expensive sand, but nonetheless, it is too much work and I don't feel like doing it. So you can see right here, there's a bulkhead there, and there is a bulkhead down here. Those were closed loop just for circulation systems. I am going to put bulkheads in them and cap them. I am only going to use a single overflow on each side. I am going to plumb this how I want this plumbed. So that means water in on one side at an exceptionally fast rate, coming through, basically flowing through the tank, out the overflow, down the piping, back to our drain. Same thing on this one, flowing through, going down, overflowing on that side, and being done. Now this will, however, have filtration on it for its own good, so each tank will have mechanical and biological, plus it will have a pass-through. I am still coming up with a plan of action on what we're doing for the filtration on it, but that's not even what this video is about. I just wanted to answer some questions from the comments because there were a lot of them, and a lot of them hit on the same thing. But these are gorgeous tanks, gorgeous coral pieces, not going to destroy them. Sorry guys. But let's take a look outside. So you see here we had our koi in these ponds over here. Wait, what? Where'd they go? Haha. We've already got this 2,000 gallons set up. I am filling it slowly. Actually, I had it about 8 inches taller than this, but because I repositioned my filters over here, I went ahead and backwash this thing heavily. And I used a couple 100 gallons of water. So you guys can see, we went ahead and took the white argonite sand that we had in all of those buckets right there, and we went ahead and dumped them out. You can still see there's a little bit of dirt down on this end, but you guys can see over here, we have the koi. This is one tub of the koi. I went ahead and added them with their filtration off of their tub. So now you guys walk up, you can see these koi from the side, and you can also see the koi from the top. They're on a white bottom. This was milky white yesterday. I went ahead and rinsed the sand once and then just let the filters go ahead and take over. This is one day and it already looks this clear. So we are going to go ahead and work on moving this blue tub over. These are all the koi from that mud pond, and we are going to go ahead and move these guys into this 2000 as well. That will allow us to go ahead and clean up the rest of this junk here and start putting tubs away, clearing space. So when you guys basically walk down, you can walk into the fish room, or you can walk underneath the tarp, and we have all of our cold water species underneath the tarp. I think this is pretty awesome, but we are going to continually fulfill this, of course. And we've got all different types of filtration. I will, however, be bringing the FX5s over from this tub and also adding them to this tank. But this Ultima is definitely plenty enough filtration, along with a few others. And there is a bunch of sponge filters as well. But the problem with sponge filters fill up with sand, and that is no good. So you always have to love it when a plan actually comes together and, you know, things work out. We got the Bellagio tanks in. We have this 2000 outside. We went ahead and leveled it and basically filled this thing up. Now we are going to have a 2,000 gallon outdoor tank, and it's actually somewhat weatherproof. It is coated on the outside, so I'm not worried about the wood. And so we're going to use these for our koi fish, and I think this will look pretty nice for an outdoor tank. It'll look way better than these plastic bins and all this contraptions we got going on. But however, we did have a turtle we got yesterday. We had Michael Urbeck up here from Michigan Tropicals. He came up with his family. He's the one who helped me install this filter, because some of you know these things are not light. So me and him got them up onto our pedestals here, and we had to lift it. This is several hundred pounds with the media in it, so it was not an easy task, but nonetheless we got it done. So I'm going to go ahead and work today on moving these guys over. You guys can check back in another video to see the progression of this tank. But I just thought that was pretty cool. We moved it out and it's already set up and going with fish in it. Has substrate. So let's go back inside and take a look at how everything is doing in there. So coming back inside down here, a lot of you guys had said something about this looks too cluttered and, you know, you don't like it. Well guys, this is our doing here. This is what we have to do. This is not a showroom. This is, you know, a part of our hobby that we give our tank space to go ahead and, you know, help out fish in need. So we need the tank space. I can't just put Pittsburgh out of a home. You guys yelled at me for having them in the 1,000 gallons, so we gave them this 300 gallon cube. Until I find a better spot for this cube to go, then it is going to be here. But over here, you can see we got two albino iridescent sharks that Michael Urbeck from Michigan Tropicals had brought to the rescue for us for our albino tanks. There's another one back there. And of course there is a fire eel in here. Now I'm sorry there are no lights on this tank because I haven't gotten around to putting them back on yet. There's the fire eel. This is a 2-foot fire eel that Steven, SC Aquatics, brought up here when he was helping me with the Bellagio tank. But as you guys can see, Pittsburgh and Vaca are no longer in the same tank. It was wishful thinking, but Vaca got a little bit too nippy with Pittsburgh, so we had to remove Vaca. So now Pittsburgh is healing up now, but now the plan with the puffers. I am thinking of possibly throwing Vaca in one of these 1800s with the African cichlids, or back in with the community tank. As you guys know, one's going to be a community, one's going to be a African cichlid tank. Now I think that will be the best bet here moving forward, but we are waiting on bulkheads. Once we have bulkheads, I can go ahead and fill this thing up. I can put external filtration on it while I am still doing the plumbing. So I can maybe have these tanks full, maybe, you know, 4 or 5 inches from the top, get everything going with this whole ordeal, and then move on to the next tank. So we've got these 2 tanks in here waiting to be set up. Now let's take a walk out to the pool. While all this is going on, we still have not gotten that little wall tank up and running. It might just be a wall decoration for now. But we have these 3 tanks over here. You guys know I've been working on them as well. This 500 is just about ready to go. I'm going to start hooking up filtration back to it. That's why I have all these FX5s here. The 700 is actually plumbed and done. We are ready to go. I just wanted to recoat the inside because you can see there's bits and pieces where the coating was flaking off. So we are waiting on the paint from this one here. Same thing with this tank. I'm going to go ahead and recoat the inside, but the plumbing is done. And while I have fiberglass out, I'm going to go ahead and fill and fiberglass over that little hole back there in the corner. Then this tank will be ready to go. The only thing I'll have to do is drill another bulkhead on this side for a return, because we had to basically close the gap here where the overflows were, so we can have enough room to fit this 500 in right next to the beam, so it can be pushed back and be level with the face. Down here we have both 135s leveled and ready to go. The 700 is level. As you can see, you've got my shims down there and whatnot. So these tanks are all pretty much ready to go. Real soon here, we're going to have 5 tanks up and running pretty much all around the same time. So that's going to add back a lot of gallonage to the OFR. And it is going to finish off the look of this room back here. I'm actually going to be taking these koi and putting them outside in that 2000 as well. And the center tank here will be for the electric eel. And I think this end tank here will be for the abonite. So let me take a walk behind and show you guys some of the improvements I did back there. So because we were doing tropical fish back here, we used to have this hooked up right here. This is basically a splitter for airlines, but we used it for water. So we had small airlines going to each tank because we had goldfish and koi in them. They could handle the cooler temps during the winter time. But because we're thinking about putting tropical fish in here, I went ahead and took a 1/2-inch hose and teed it off into each tank. And there is a valve on each one of course, but they are all open 100%. So we have valve going to each tank, and we have a 1/2-inch hose of just steady, constant 85-degree water rolling into these tanks to keep the temperature up. So that is flowing 24/7 off of the same pump that runs the waterfalls there. So those should stay pretty warm during the winter. I might need to add a heater in there. I'm not sure, but that is something we will monitor as we progress, as the temperatures start to drop. But I think it will be fine. I could also, pump more water through them. But I think with being so hot and at a constant rate, I think it'll be just fine, because we do keep our pond at 85 degrees. Look at Brutus. But I think that does it for today's video. I just wanted to show you guys the progress with the 2000 outside and answer some questions that have been looming that I've been seeing over and over and over on some YouTube video comments. So I appreciate you guys for stopping in to watch today's video. If you guys want to see more crazy adventures with the Ohio Fish Rescue, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, stay fishy, my friend.